Just want to give you a little encouragement today. Agreements with humans may falter because they're human, but covenants with God are forever. If you're smart, you'll trust in God's promises. He promised Abraham the land of Israel, Genesis 12:7. And I know in some of these universities, some of these pink-haired, purple-haired people don't agree with that, don't like that. But he said, I'm going to bring you into this land and I'm going to keep that covenant with your kid, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the 12 kids after that. I'm making a deal. And look at what he did with Joshua 21. He says, I'm going to return you. I'm going to bring you into this land. Everywhere you place your sole of your foot, I will give it to you. And then after the Babylonians took us out, everyone thought that's it. But then God raises up Cyrus, an anointed guy who says, hey, I'm going to bring you back. Isaiah 44 and verse 28. Isaiah 45. I'm going to raise up and reestablish, because the covenant is a legit covenant. And so you have that. Even when the Romans, they destroyed our temple, kicked us out. We ran for the hills. But guess what? After the fall of Jerusalem, we ended up coming back. We ended up making houses, and we're still there. You had the British here. You had the Turkish. You had the Umayyad, the Abbasid. You had all kinds of different people who, for a time, were stewarding here as part of the rest of their larger empires. But God brought us back and continues. He brought me back. 1948 is when this land came back to be established, the state of Israel. It's an Isaiah 66 miracle, my friends. And I do want you to say, do we trust God's word? Do we think that even the greatest empires in the world can hold a stick to God's word? They can't. After World War II, they leave, and suddenly you have a coming together of the tribes once again, and we're still here as the Aliyah returns to help the rest of these tribes to come back home, to be established. There are lots of places that teach against this in the universities, that say it's all bad, it's all evil, it's all colonialism. It's not. We're indigenous people. We're re-indigenizing. We're pro-indigenous peoples. But you have universities like the one in Afghanistan, the Al-Baroni, teaches against that. Algeria, University of Algiers, teaches against what I'm saying as a fulfillment of an ancient promise. What about in Bahrain? You have the Arabian Gulf University. I wonder what they teach there. You have in Egypt the Al-Azhar. We know what goes on there. In Indonesia, Sharif Hidayatullah State Islamic University in Jakarta. And these places are teaching things which I just can't agree with. College of Sharia and Islamic Studies. They call this the Nakba, the Great Catastrophe. And even what's taught in all kinds of other places, I'm not going to go into all of them. Like in Pakistan, the International Islamic University, the Al-Quds University, in Judea and Samaria, you have these in the universities in Gaza. So what I'm going to say is, I think that we need to make sure that we teach our children the truth. We teach them that God, His word is true. And He's going to prove that again and again and again.
Behind me is an abandoned Syrian army post. The Assad regime's forces abandoned this position just over the weekend upon the rebel assault. This position was then taken by the IDF just a day later as part of Israel's forward defenses inside Syria, in the buffer zone. Technically, where we're standing is just over the Bravo line. Because of the terrain, there are some areas where Israel had to move forward by a few dozen meters. Below me is the village of Kudna, and on the other side is Israel.
Guys, if you can contribute to Chaim's non-profit organization to help Jewish new immigrants establish roots in the land of Israel, please go to www.aliyahreturncenter.com and make your contribution. God bless you, and God bless Israel.